Hello and welcome to That's English. Kieran, would you like to be called Sir Kieran?
Why? Are you going to recommend me to the Queen for a knighthood?
No. But today's documentary looks at the British Honours System, the formal awards, like this, that members of the public receive from the Queen for good service.
There are many different awards. Knights and Dames, MBEs, OBEs, CBEs.
Well, let's find out more about them.
And what you have to do to get one.
Knights are most often thought of as strong, brave men in shining armour who lived centuries ago to serve king and country. There are, however, knights living amongst us today, and they look just like you and me. While knighthoods were traditionally awarded for military merit, nowadays the award comes for making significant contributions to society. Modern knights, or dames if they're women, may include actors, sports people, scientists or school teachers. They receive their awards through the British Honours System. Robert Jobson, a royal expert, explains more.
The British Honours System dates back centuries. It's a way by which the monarch or the government can credit people for good service and public service. The system itself is not generated by the establishment, but it is effectively forming the establishment. Essentially, members of the public, you and I, can actually volunteer people for these honours. They are actually coming from the government after recommendations from members of the public.
Robert explains some of the differences between awards.
They can be from the lowest level, which is the member of the British Empire, right the way through to order, to commander, and eventually to a knight. The focus of the media's attention tends to be on the famous people who get these awards, actors, sports personalities. In recent years, we've had the famous Oscar-winning actor Eddie Redmayne, who played Professor Stephen Hawkins. He's recently got an OBE. But in the past, you've had some quite, very famous people. Charlie Chaplin was knighted very late on.
A nominee receives their award at a ceremony called the investiture. This is a very formal event that follows strict traditions and formalities, starting with the invitation. David Reynolds received an award for services to the community and to agriculture. He remembers the day the invitation arrived.
A letter came out of the blue and beautifully done, but it said if Her Majesty was inclined, would you accept it? Because the pen nearly caught fire saying yes.
There are a lot of formalities when you're preparing for the ceremony.
The list of instructions are absolutely wonderful. There are 2 or 3 pages so that you don't get it wrong. When you get inside, recipients to go one way, guests to go another way. It's beautifully done. It's a very polished act.
So just how important are these formalities, and what do they mean?
The actual dubbing, where the Queen or the monarch touches the shoulders of the recipient of a knighthood, goes back to heraldic times and used to happen only for military knights. Now it happens for all knights. Only the males get it. The dames are not dubbed. The most important formality for people to remember if they're a recipient of an honour is they're really supposed to keep it secret until it is announced in the honours lists.
Beatle John Lennon returned his MBE as an act of protest against the Vietnam War.
In the past, some people, for political reasons, have decided they don't want the knighthood, but it is quite rare.
The formalities of the British Honours System don't end after the event. Those awarded with an honour must then be referred to by certain names and titles.
If it was me, I would be Sir Robert Jobson, but then after that, someone would address me as just Sir Robert.
So a dame, such as actress Helen Mirren, is referred to simply as Dame Helen. We may live in a modern world, but people still love the formality of the honours system and see the importance of recognising contributions to society.
So it's actually quite a democratic system because anyone can recommend someone for an honour.
Yes, but we only ever hear about the famous people that get them, like actors or sports people.
I like how David describes the formalities of the ceremony.
The list of instructions are absolutely wonderful. There are 2 or 3 pages so that you don't get it wrong. When you get inside, recipients to go one way, guests to go another way. It's beautifully done. It's a very polished act.
He says it's a very polished act, which means it's a beautifully organised event.
Now it's time to hear from our international friends. We asked them, what are considered to be good manners in your country? Are children taught good manners?
Manners in Jamaica, especially where it relates to children, is paramount. Children are brought up to be mannerly and polite from day dot.
Being able to spend time and converse with older people is very important in New Zealand society. So children are taught to be polite to their elders from a very early age. It really matters.
I think good manners in Ireland are similar throughout the rest of the world, really, like holding doors for people, saying please and thank you and so on.
I think good manners is tipping waiting staff in a restaurant for the service that they have provided you. If you're going to someone's house for a braai or supper, it's always nice to take a bottle of good South African wine with you, or a box of chocolates, or a bunch of flowers for the hosts. By addressing people by their surnames is always a sign of respect. And I think kids are generally taught good manners in South Africa. I never stopped teaching mine.
Greeting people correctly is very important in Australia. From a very young age, children are taught to speak to adults correctly.
I don't think good manners are instilled into children the way they used to be. I hope this is something that will improve in British society as the years go on.
I think some kids are taught manners, but I think a lot of other kids get away with things that I definitely know I wouldn't have been able to get away with in school. And I hope that kind of adjusts itself out in time.
In most countries, it's considered important for children to have good manners, especially when speaking to adults.
Yes, although the English guy said that good manners aren't instilled into children like they used to be.
The South African mentioned taking a gift to your host if you go round for a braai. That's a barbecue. Now, let's see what Alex is up to in That's the USA.
Today, he's in the historic town of Newport in Rhode Island, an upmarket colonial town, famous for its huge mansions and its sailing community. Do you know how to sail, Kieran?
Oh, yes, I do actually.
So you'll know some of the technical terms.
Oh, yes. There's starboard, estribor, port, babor, tack, virar, and jibe, trasluchar.
Hi there. Today we're in Rhode Island, in the charming seaside city of Newport. Newport is a New England city with a small town feel to it. The city attracts millions of visitors each year who come to admire the classic colonial architecture. Newport was founded in 1639 by Quaker colonists seeking freedom of speech and religion. As a result, the city has attracted different cultures, people, and beliefs. The Touro Synagogue was founded here in 1763 by European Jews escaping from religious persecution. It is the oldest surviving synagogue building in the United States and the only one which dates back to the colonial era. The site of the synagogue is significant. It's built on a hill with large windows allowing people on the outside to see in while the congregation worship. These opulent Newport mansions are one of the city's great attractions. They were built as summer homes for rich industrialists as a way to show off their money and good or bad taste. Ocean Drive stretches along this rocky coast. It's a great place to get some fresh air or take in some beautiful views. Some people like to come out here to fly kites. I'm with Bert and Elaine, who are visiting Newport. Bert and Elaine, what are some of your favorite things to do in Newport?
I love the beaches. I love walking on these beaches. They're beautiful. And going to the cliff walk and looking at all the beautiful old homes.
Well, to me, Newport has always been a sailing area, and so we're sailors, so we just love to see the boats. It's a very attractive place. Very nice shops, very nice people, beautiful girls. It just works.
And good food.
Good food?
Really good food.
What do you think makes Newport such a charming place to visit?
I'd say because they kept the old and incorporated the new. They still have all the old homes, and yet they have been very respectful of the history of Newport.
The wharfs along the harbor are wonderful places to walk around, do some shopping, or find some authentic New England food like clam chowder or lobster. Newport is renowned for its sailing and once hosted the America's Cup. The harbor is packed with yachts and luxury powerboats. I'm with Mike from Newport Sailing School. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing great. How about you, Alex?
Great. So what makes Newport so ideal for sailing?
Well, probably the most important thing is the prevailing sea breezes that we get here daily. You get the wind coming off the southwest. It's a thermal effect, so hot air rising draws that cool sea breeze in, and you got the cool water, which makes it so great.
Excellent. Can you tell us about some formalities you have to follow when sailing? Any do's or don'ts?
Sure. The most important thing is right-of-way rules, whereas sail has right-of-way over most power vessels. Most important thing is right-of-way over sail and power, and among sailboats, starboard tack over port tack.
Okay, what are we going to learn today?
Today we're going to do some boat handling as well as tacking and jibing, which are the two maneuvers in sailing when you change direction. So the sail is actually going to come across the boat and we're going to switch sides. So tacking is upwind, jibing is downwind.
Well, let's go sailing.
Sounds good.
Wow, that was a lot harder than it looked. Well, I'll see you next time in Washington, D.C.
Alex seemed very relaxed, but that's probably because Mike was doing most of the work.
Newport looks perfect for sailing. As Mike said, the prevailing or predominant wind produces a thermal effect that brings in a cool breeze.
Well, if we ever go to Newport together, I'll visit the synagogue and the mansions while you go sailing. Then we can meet at the wharf for some clam chowder and lobster.
That suits me.
Well, that's all we have time for today.
Bye-bye.
Bye.